Alright, well, day one. Just got back from the maiden voyage. As you can see, this boat looks a little ridiculous hanging out of my ridgeline, but it is what it is. Some pool noodles to help with the bottom of the kayak not bouncing around in the bed of the truck. Overall, awesome. I'm psyched. I feel like money well spent. I live like a mile from a pond that you can swim, you can fish, you can pretty much do everything. And so, I mean, I didn't fish today, but definitely swam off the boat, which is pretty sweet. Practiced in shallow water first, as far as like getting off, getting back on. And then I did it in the middle of the pond, and it was fine. It was good. Basically, what I did is I used the rod holders up front as a grip to hang on and pull the yak towards me as I kind of slid on. What I did before sliding on was move the footrest up, so I had all that space to kind of beach myself on the front of the deck here. It probably looked a little awkward, but it worked. So I know that, you know, if I'm done fishing, I want to jump in the water for a little bit, take a swim. I can totally do that, drop anchor and just go for a swim, and then, you know, get back on and continue on, which is pretty awesome. Played around with the different seat positions. I mean, I don't know. I started off with the highest position, tried it in the middle, and tried it in the bottom, and then I ended up back to the tallest one. It just, maybe because I started off that way, it just kind of felt more comfortable because it was the first way that I had truly ridden the kayak. So I think I'm going to keep it in that position. I really dug it. Yeah, ultimately there was no real difference. I was trying to see if I can get it so when I'm paddling, not as much water is dripping on me as I'm paddling. I may invest in some of those plastic things that go on the end of the paddle that's supposed to help with the drip. But I mean, it's a kayak; it's going to get wet. What was nice is my ass did not get wet, which was very good. And after taking a swim, paddling around, my ass dried. So, I mean, that was one of the reasons I got this kayak, was for this seat, and you know, it worked awesome. Loved it. Ended up taking off the rod holder. Definitely got in the way. I attached it to that same bungee that I had the scupper plugs on. I figure if I go fishing, you know, I'm paddling with the poles, paddling out with the poles back here. I'll leave the rod holder attached, and then when I'm just kind of hanging out, I'll put it in here and lock it in place and fish. I mean, it makes sense, I guess. I mean, it looks cool, you know, when it's there, but it definitely, while paddling around, was not that functional. But we'll try it out when I fish, and we'll see how that goes. As for the deck, definitely some give. One thing they should have put this dry bag area. I mean, maybe they couldn't because of where this stuff was, but if this was back further, you kind of would have two good spots for your feet. I kept putting my feet here, and I just felt like I didn't want to step on that. I don't know, like, it seems like there's a lot of stuff here, and when you're trying to step around, I mean, you got your footrest next to the, you know, the space here, next to the space here, and the scupper. It just was like, okay, where do I put my foot? And then when my foot's here, I'm worried about it getting stuck here, and I'm moving around. I mean, maybe you can just step on this space here, and it's not a big deal. But it just seemed like, you know, over here is set up perfectly for your foot, and that one's kind of like, well, where do I put it? What else? I got a leash that I bought, Dick's Sporting Goods, along with the paddle. The leash to help you stand up is definitely key. I fell a few times trying to, you know, I was walking around on it and definitely lost my balance and fell back, and wasn't too bad. Fell right back into the chair ultimately. It was pretty sturdy. I tightened the screws before I went out. Seems like they're good. Had no issues there. One thing to be aware of that is kind of weird is the lock mechanism for the chair pulls out, and when you pull it out and you turn, be careful about turning and getting your fingers stuck. Just don't grip underneath and turn, kind of pull it, and just keep your fingers in mind when you're turning it. I mean, I went slow. Seems like it's a little tight and it'll probably loosen up over time, but I was kind of glad it was slow because I could feel where my fingers may get crunched in there, so it's something to think about. Anyone that has the dolly thing, or whatever they call it, I call it a dolly. When I put it in the back, when I'm getting the yak out of the back of the truck, it's really easy because you got that space underneath the truck. You start to pull the kayak forward, slide it in, and then pull it right off, and you're gone. Getting out of the water was a whole nother thing. The wheels, you go to put them in, and then they fall, and then they're wet and they're slippery. The bottom of the kayak's slippery. The handle distance to where these scupper holes are is pretty far, and it's probably almost equal different distance in the back as well. I had a real hard time getting those things in the scupper holes. I tried to figure out a way how to do that a little easier. I was lucky that when I came out of the lake, the pond or whatever, there was a big rock right there, and it had a little nook, so I lifted the front end of the kayak up, rested it on the rock, and then could kind of put the dolly up underneath and then bring it down, and then I was on my way. But I mean, if it was all beach, I really don't know what I would have done. I probably would have just backed the truck up to the boat launch and just kind of muscled it into the back of the truck. So if anyone has a way to an easy way to get those things in after you've been out on the water, definitely post in the comments or send me a link or something. The only thing I can think is maybe you put some string underneath here, and then it'll go up along the pole. You could, I don't know, I mean, I'm kind of freestyling here, and then if you had the strings up through here and maybe they were tied, you could, I don't know, you could pull it up and that would straighten up the dolly, so that way when you lifted it, I mean, I don't know, you could pull it back here, and then as you lift, it would line right up. I mean, I don't know. If anyone's gotten any ideas, definitely let me know, because it was a bit of a pain. But I don't know. I'm going to keep reviewing it as I use it. Next time I go out, I'm hoping to do a little fishing. I found a great spot. I may have mentioned it in a previous video. I shot that a little while ago, so I'm psyched. Cruising around today, bright sun, nice day. The water was fantastic. Couldn't be happier with the purchase as of right now. Like I said before, for the price, there's going to be some flaws for sure, but nothing glaring at this point, and nothing, and more just annoyances. Nothing that oh crap, that broke in 2 seconds or whatever. So I don't know. Till next time.